Welcome to another Digital Adventures Let's Build. Today I will be creating an Among Us room in Scratch. We're gonna learn a little bit about collision mask so that we can create a realistic, or not realistic, but recreate the Among Us top-down view and running around and colliding with walls in a very simple way. So the first thing I need to do, of course, is get rid of this cat, and we need to design my Among Us character. So I'm gonna do that. Now what I'm gonna do is create the walking cycle, or the animation for walking. And I'm just gonna do very simple. I'm gonna add 2 more frames real quick. Okay, so when I'm making this animation, these costumes, I think I called them frames earlier, but in Scratch they call them costumes, is I start with just standing, then legs spread out with the leg in front, or sorry, the right leg in front, then back to the same exact design as before, so I just duplicate it, and then the last one with the right leg in front. Oh no, I messed that up. Okay, I think I fixed it. So now you can see like the legs, different legs are in front. So that should create a pretty good Among Us walking animation. Now the next thing I'm gonna do is create the collision mask, which is gonna be the things that I cannot run into. Now it's not gonna be the actual wall that you see in the game. It's gonna be like in Scratch, what you can do is set its opacity to very like 1. They call it ghost, I think, in the looks blocks. So we're gonna go and just create those blocks basically that we want our Among Us character to not be able to run into. So if I created a simple room here, and we'll go ahead and add, I don't know, like a little desk in the middle. So it's all gonna be one color, just fine, and I'm gonna name it over here to collision mask. Let's call this guy crew. He's a crew guy. Collision mask, and now I can go ahead and I'm gonna duplicate it, and this is not gonna be used for collisions, it's gonna be just the walls. And what I'm gonna do is change these up to look like I'm in a spaceship or something like that. The way that can work, I could just go here to fill, change colors of things, and then let's do the desk here. It'll be a blue desk. Now, in Among Us, your character doesn't just like bump up against things, it will actually overlap with the wall, so it looks nicer and looks more realistic. So what we can do is on the bottom parts of walls, we can extend them downward, maybe with, let's go with a black outline, like this. And then this will mean that the character can walk up to this and it'll look like he's standing in front of it. Let's convert it to bitmap. Okay, so that's a wall. It's very poorly made. It's okay though. And then we have this little desk, so it's going to be a little shorter. There we go. And then on the left, and if I want it to be able to interact with the sides of a wall, you just pull these down. So he should be able to go in sort of up to this wall and up to that wall, up to that wall as well. And I think that's good. I think I'm just gonna add like a little flare here and there. How about, whoops, some buttons and stuff. And maybe like a meter or something, I don't know. You know, just things. And you can make this as beautiful as you want. because it won't change how your collisions work as long as you do that correctly. Collision mask 2, I should have called it walls. There we go. Now inside of the code, I want to make sure that the walls and the collision mask are always lined up. So I need one green flag clicked. Go to X0, Y0. There you go. That should be inside of both of them. I can drag this code right on top of that one usually. It's kind of freaking out right now. There it is. We got it. Perfect. And they're going to line up with each other. And if this collision happens to go in front, we can actually just send it to back. That's probably easy enough, right? Go to looks. Where is that one? Go to back of layer. Took me a bit. I found it. I found it. And now it'll make sure it always stays behind. And it always lines up every time I press the green flag. My Among Us guy is way too big. The crew, too big. Gonna make him smaller. That way he can run around more instead of being a monster. That's too tiny. I think we're looking at something like this. So that looks better. Okay. Next step. Next step is we need movement for our character. The rest of the code is going to be inside of crew. So we're gonna go start with the one green flag clicked. And I'm gonna work on his movement up, down, left, and right. So forever, and then if. We're gonna need 4 if statements, one for each movement direction, up, down, left, and right. And I've done this probably a billion times. It's sort of the best way I've found to do movement with the keyboard. We're gonna go up, down, left, and right. Great. Now, how do we actually move the character? Right now it's just checking if the key is up or if the key is down and so forth. We gotta use change X when we're going left and right. I don't know, 4 is probably good. And left would be -4, goes backwards. And then up and down would be change Y. By 4, down, -4. Okay, now you'll see my game. It's great, although I can just fly through things, but I don't want that to happen. That's not exactly a great game if you just fly over all the blocks and all the walls. So what I'm gonna do is now prevent my character from moving if it notices that it's touching the collision mask, but not the wall. We wanna use only the collision mask. So for each of these 4, I'm gonna now write code. So where if I'm going up and then right after that, if it sees that I'm hitting the collision mask, we're gonna push it back down like instantly so that the program knows that we bumped into something and like don't allow the upward movement. Okay, so we're gonna need an if statement. Control. Okay, moves up. If sensing would be touching collision mask, we're gonna reverse this code block. We're gonna say change Y by -4. Now let's try that one out. And you'll notice that I can move up and I'm going through the wall a little bit, but I'm stopping once I hit that collision mask, which you can't see yet. And then left obviously isn't gonna work yet because I've only done the up arrow. So I'm gonna do this same code by right clicking and duplicating by the if sign, put it right here. Now instead of down arrow, or instead of going down, I wanna pop him back up if he touches the collision mask. So I'll do a 4 there. And then for the X and the Y blocks, or for the X blocks, which is left and right movement, we're gonna need new blocks here because they're using X blocks instead of these change Y blocks. Perfect, right? Oh no, I forgot that block. So I like to duplicate a lot because it's a lot easier than just going back into, so I'm gonna reverse this, going back into the code block panel on the left side. Okay, what happened to my guy? When did he get flipped over? Okay, I don't know what's going on, but if I click on that block, it'll fix it, so that's good. Okay, here we go. Now, if I move left, I want to look left. So, left arrow here. We're gonna go to looks. Oh wait, point in direction. I'm gonna point it to the left. And when I go to the right, point in direction to the right. I don't do that for up and down because in this game your character is always upright. He doesn't like flip around downwards when you're going down. So he'll always, he won't need to move or flip when he is going up and down. Only left and right. But I do have an issue here, which you probably see is that he flips upside down. To fix that, there's a code block in Scratch 3 called, if I can find it, we'll see if I can find it. I think it's called Set Rotation Style. So this, just place this right above here at the one green flag clicked. So it's only left-right rotation. And that means it won't flip upside down. Okay, and now you can see I can kind of walk into these walls. And you can walk and it overlaps with them, but you still bump. That's exactly how I want it. Okay, so now I have it working real nicely. I want to just get the animation working now. The way I'm going to do that is with a variable. I'm going to create one called is running, and it's going to check to a 1 if I think I should be using the 1 or should be moving this guy's legs. So if I'm pressing any of these arrow keys, I want to set is running to 1. Very good. So right underneath these key press code blocks. Now that's going to be fine, but once it turns on, it's not going to turn off. So I also want it to set, kind of reset every loop. So once it's checked all this, it'll come back to the top of the code forever block, and it will set it back to 0 to reset, to make it so that you have to hold it down or press it again to run or continue running. Now, I'm going to use a separate thread because this code, this running stuff is going to happen while this other code is occurring. So I have to have a separate thread here, a separate code block. This one's pretty easy. Forever if my running is equal to 1, then I want to switch my costume to the next costume. Now I don't want it to be super crazy like this, where it looks like he's like an insect or something, running like a crazy person. So I'm going to use wait 0.1 second, and that is going to make it look a little nicer. There we go. So, you know, this looks pretty good. This is definitely the start of a Among Us recreation. This is definitely a way that I think you could start doing it. You know, you could add on more rooms, definitely, and perhaps you can try and add some panels you can interact with. That would be awesome. So that's the Lust build for today. I hope you've learned a little bit. Hopefully you can add this into other games as well. So again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.